Hello, welcome to another episode of Off the Pitch. I'm Killen, your host and referee, and today I'm joined by, and I'm going to go by FA Cup winners, Arsenal with 14 FA Cups, Man United, 12 FA Cups, and potentially number 13. And finally, way down the list, Chelsea with only 8 FA Cups.
I preferred last week's intro by a distance.
Most prestigious cup in the world, best domestic trophy in the world, and we've got more than anyone.
I'll agree with the first. Well, I can't disagree with the second part. But what's Chelsea's financial doping?
Don't know.
I think we're on 3.
3. Okay, so that's a real number. Carry on.
It's like BC, isn't it?
Talking of FA Cup, though. Talking of FA Cup, classic game, and Pulley against Coventry, 3-3. What happened?
Well, the Sky Blues, the Elephants. We were okay for 70 minutes. I gotta think on the spot. I've had stupidity aside, which is hard. I've had the night sleep on it, but yesterday, as I said, I was screaming some words I didn't know I was capable of. I didn't know that I knew. Some combinations were amazing of the words I was putting together. But for 60, 65 minutes, we're fine. Nothing's happening. It's actually quite a boring game, right? And boring's fine. See it through. As soon as they got that one goal, and this is United all season, they start cracking. And the whole thing was summed up. I can't remember who the winger was on left wing. You guys will remember. Casemiro goes across and the guy's running and Casemiro's going full pelt and he's going back in time. I thought he was turning into Martin. He was going so slow. He had an orphanage on his back, all the kids, and he couldn't run, and it was fucking horrendous. It was just unbelievable. And then, on the messages, I'm going, this is set up for pedo. And then he goes, I put in the group, this is set up for Thorpe to score Thorpe pedo or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I realized when I put the space Thorpe pedo, yeah. But it was, but when it happened, that offside, it's unbelievable. To me, it's okay. By the letter of the law, it's offside, right? But the lines are so close. So that's how close we came to what would have been, there's no doubt about it, the greatest FA Cup semi-final comeback, or maybe comeback ever. We were just... I'll repeat what I said before. These guys look like they don't know each other. They just don't know each other. Like, what's going on?
I turned it off at 2-0. When Harry Maguire scored just before half-time, I thought, shut up shop. No point. You know what I mean? Turn it over. I'm watching the Liverpool game. But my mate texted me at 3-2 and I had to get back on. You knew it was coming. Somehow you know
it's coming.
They are going to get one. They are going to get one, yeah. And obviously,
I was gutted for them.
I'll be perfectly honest, I was gutted for Coventry as well. I mean, I was relieved, but I was gutted for Coventry because any team that goes through what they went through, I still think, I was saying that Sims, if you give him chances, he'll score. Like, he's a good player. But this is how, Pierce, you said before about how fickle and crazy football fans are, right? I'm sitting there, I'm wearing a Pierce white t-shirt, right? which to me means I'm not bothered. It goes 3-1. I kid you not, I'm thinking to myself, put your lucky blue Man United top on. Right? This is the mental conversation I'm having. I'm like, this is Coventry. I refuse to rely and waste the powers of the lucky blue top on Coventry. Of course we'll be fine. When it went 4-3, I'm like, you bellend. You should have put your lucky blue top on.
You see how many United fans
It was
left?
all on that chop.
At 4-3, which I'm surprised. Surely you wait for VAR. Or do they just want to get out of Wembley and get home and miss the traffic?
Oh, did you see the clips of fans running back?
Yeah, in real time, it looked like a perfectly good goal, though, didn't it? Until
Yeah,
In real time, there's nothing wrong with it.
Until you saw the freeze frame, you thought, do you know what? He's half a
It was
yard.
tight. Yeah.
Tighter than that, it weren't half a yard. It was half a toenail.
It's a toenail.
Mark
Yeah.
Robbins said, "Oh, if only he'd cut his toenails, right?"
It was good. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I've since it first came in, and I mean, Pierce, you go to the games as well. As a match-going fan, VAR is just the worst thing that's happened to the game in the last 20 years. I'd say it's worse than the diving you get. It's worse than the back chat. Celebrating a goal like that in the 90, the extra time, last-minute winner, and it gets ruled out because somebody's offside by a toenail. What advantage is he gaining by being a toenail offside? I just hate it. I hate it so much.
It should be daylight, I think. Because you're right, George. When I go to the games, it's like you celebrate 20%, and then you remind yourself, hang on, there's a good chance, and then you stand there and look at the screen and wait.
Yeah,
goal comes up.
Painful.
And then if it is a goal, you probably you don't celebrate.
You don't have a full celebration. It's always in the back of your head. Is that gonna stand? Always. It takes the enjoyment out of it.
Definitely not the same.
100%. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, thing is, it's in the sport now, and I don't think it's going to go away. I think the semi-automated offsides will help because it makes a much quicker decision, and they're not reliant on people drawing silly lines that can just be put completely out of place, which they have been on multiple occasions.
When did the ball, if you can be that precise with the lines, you can't be that precise when did the ball leave the midfielder's foot? Do you know what I mean?
The frames aren't enough because you go on the frames, and one, they haven't passed it yet, and the second one, it's like he's already passed it. It's clear daylight between his foot and his boot. Maybe not in this occasion. I didn't look at that closely, but often in the past, that's been the case.
When his foot makes contact with the ball, or when the ball starts to leave his foot, like that split second changes the other end of it.
It needs clearing up, right? It needs clearing up. But having said all that, and yesterday, I was like, genuinely, even getting through it, and George is going to love this because last week I was saying, "Oh, we should give him another year." But
you're Ten Hag out.
No, I'm not Ten Hag out.
Yeah.
The only manager I ever wanted out was Moyes, simply because I started betting against United and I kept winning. Right. That's when it really hurt. Sort of. I'm not. So yesterday, like I went through the motions of this can't be right. But my problem is, and because it's commentary, and I know everybody's saying, yeah, but at the end of the day, we got to a cup final, and I agree, we've still got to a cup final. That's 3 cup finals in 2 years. This is going to be a huge if statement. If we win, and Arsenal don't win the league, in the last 2 years, we've had 3 finals and 2 trophies. Arsenal haven't.
And do you know what? I get that, but I wouldn't trade places with you.
No, I get what you mean, and that's where, what is the measure of success, right? What is it? Is it trophies?
Who's had? Yeah,
and
I see what you're saying. Who's had a better season? If United get European football, say Europa League, which is on the cards, and they win an FA Cup. And Arsenal get second place, no trophies. Who has had the better season?
Man United. Man United. Trophies count. Second place doesn't.
I'd argue Man United. They don't have the Champions League, but they got a trophy in the bag. But
who would you rather be?
Well, Arsenal, because United are terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding you. We are woeful.
But
you get results though somehow.
Just about that game.
Did the penalties? I just want to say, did the penalties has that saved Ten Hag's job this season?
He'd have been fired if they'd have lost. I think he'd be fired this morning.
Yeah,
I think he gets to the end of the season regardless.
But do you reckon?
Yeah, every point counts. There's no point in,
I reckon.
every place in the league you finish,
What are you
Yeah.
going to get?
every place higher you finish is worth millions and millions of pounds.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they binned him off, brought in an interim manager that's just going to boost morale for a bit. Like,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
and then
Things
in
you
that
don't
time you can prioritize getting a replacement in. Because a lot of teams are looking for managers at the minute. You've got Liverpool are looking for a manager, Barca are looking for a manager, Bayern are looking for a manager, Chelsea might be looking for a manager, United might be looking for a manager.
Chelsea will.
They're all going to be compete. I don't think we will either, much to my annoyance. But everyone's going to be competing for the same string of managers. Maybe Amorim, De Zerbi, Alonso's not going, so that's one off the table. And then past that, you really have to dig quite deep to find solid managers. So I would prefer United to keep Ten Hag in because it means they're not going to get in a good manager in the long term.
That was the silver lining.
Let me give you a shout on that.
Yeah.
Let me give you a shout on that. And this will really piss off the others on the other side of Lanks Road. We keep Ten Hag for a year.
Please don't.
You're not getting Pep.
And then we get Alonso, and then we go for Alonso.
Oh, Alonso.
Like during the year, we make all the moves, let Liverpool get their manager, and then we get Alonso. What loyalty we got to Liverpool, really?
You'll end up sacking Ten Hag halfway through the season and bringing in Zidane or Southgate.
Look,
Graham Potter.
At the end of the day,
Potter.
At the end of the day, Liverpool were ready to get rid of him for Gareth Barry. Right? That's when he went. They were ready to swap Alonso for Gareth Barry at that time.
Well, I can't see.
He put some numbers up. He's played like
it was a small walk.
Games or something.
He put some appearance numbers up. He didn't put much else.
Well,
didn't really set the world light otherwise, did he? But I think Alonso to Liverpool is almost done because they're going to have to get in a long-term manager this year. So Alonso's not leaving. They're going to have to bring in. I saw De Zerbi was being linked to his favourite today.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So
moving on from this, Jackson 5, probably more than 5 listeners.
I like that Jackson 5.
What happened? The other FA Cup, Man City.
I mean,
George.
It's the same. I've seen it in the league for the last 2 years, for longer than that. I've seen it in the amount of times the Brian was on the wall. We missed a couple of good chances. As soon as Jackson missed the first 1-on-1, I was like, it's not going to be one of those again, is it? Missed chance after chance. It's happened in 3 cup finals against Liverpool. It's happened pretty much every time we've gone to Wembley for the past 5 years. We miss chance after chance, and then we get punished. And you can only blame yourselves. We should have had a penalty, I think. But I mean, besides that, we should have been comfortably ahead. We could have been 2-3 goals to the good, given the chances we had. City had a couple of chances, but we had some clear-cut chances you have to take, and ultimately, that's what punished us. So I can be annoyed at the refereeing decision, but more realistically, we shouldn't have been relying on a penalty anyway.
But George, does that not make you think? Do you know what, Poch might be onto something here? Because there's a couple of players that are letting you down. Jackson, I think, is an absolute donkey, but. I
do like Jackson. I think Jackson gets stick.
Watch both semi-finals as a kind of neutral, I suppose, because I think I dislike United slightly more than Chelsea. But I would rather be, if you both stick with your managers going into next season, I think Chelsea have got more about them, and I think they'll finish higher than United.
I understand what you're saying. We're good against the big teams. We play well. It's the way that Poch sets the team up against the low block teams, like for example, the Sheffield United game and the Burnley game that we dropped 4 points over those 2 games, and that's happened continuously throughout the season. Just terrible performances against bang average teams, and it's because he sets up the team is set up to counter and play like a game of attrition. They're not set up to dominate the ball and control a game. And I think we touched upon it, the difference between Liverpool, Arsenal and City is Arsenal and City control games. Liverpool don't really control games. I rarely feel like we're in control of a game and we're going to we're going to get 2-3 goals to the good and just put it to bed. It's always just like, it's never easy. It's never an easy game. Yeah, exactly. And look, unless we get a manager that's going to play that style of football, a more controlling style of football, which I think we've got the players to get. You can't tell me that Enzo, for example, is a midfielder that thrives on a game that's going end to end. He wants as many touches on the ball as possible. And he doesn't get that, which is why this season he's not looked good. He played so much better in the back half of the season last year, even though we were terrible, than he has so far this season for us. So I don't mind Poch, but I don't think he is the manager to take us forward, but I do see he is good with young players. So it's a bit of both. I personally just can't forgive how he sets up our team in some games.
Ten Hag seems to have the same problem. United is ping pong. It's end to end, zero control. They seem to just
basketball, right?
And I blame that on the manager as well for United. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm just wondering whether that is both teams. It's a symptom of the manager, or whether it's just the team's a bit disconnected. They haven't played with each other long enough.
Definitely a bit of that as well. Yeah, that does come into play.
Talking of managers, rumours are fans are going Arteta out. What's that all about?
Some fucking idiots are, people without a fucking brain in them.
After Bayern midweek, yeah.
I mean, that is really embarrassing. I think, do you know what? When you say fans, what you mean is 14-year-olds on with anonymous Twitter accounts. That's what it is. Because anyone with half a bit of sense knows that, we were 8th a couple of years ago, and we've got better and better, and it's progress every year. And look, we might not win anything. Well, we might not win the Premier League this year, but we're building to win something. We're building to win a major.
You can see progress.
Well, do you know what? It's a little bit like when it's difficult to get that first one. Obviously, you saw it with Liverpool, but you see it in international football as well. Like, when Spain totally dominated, it took a while. Get to a couple of semis, a couple of quarters, semis, and then a final. Maybe you lose a final. When the first one drops, then they start to drop, and maybe you win a couple. And I think, might be wishful thinking, but it feels like that with Arsenal. Where we totally fell apart this time last year. We've added to the squad. We got some good experience from it, some pretty painful experience. And this year, we're better for it. And that game against Wolves on the weekend, we would have totally bottled that last year. And going into it, I thought, we're getting nothing from this. We played midweek, heads are down, gone out of Europe. Bit of a whimper out of Europe as well. Didn't really put up much of a fight. We've looked leggy second halves against teams recently, playing every 3 days. And I thought, this Wolves team are up for it. They're good at home. They've taken some big scalps. I think they beat Spurs, they beat City. And I thought, do you know what? We're going to drop points today, and that's it, done. Standard April capitulation. But they dug in, they got it done. So that to me, it's down to experience, but also adding people like Declan Rice to your side. And if we go and sign a couple of players in the summer, I think if we don't win it this year, we'll win it next year. And I'll probably keep saying that until we do, but I really do believe that.
I just on that, on the game, on the...
There we go. Arsenal's second biggest fan.
No, I just want to give a shout out to, I've got his name here, Wes Okadua, who's 15-year-old on the bench for Wolves. How incredible is that, right? I mean, Wolves have got injuries, obviously, but
that is pretty special.
Imagine being 15, like, there on that day.
Being that close to Martin Odegaard, like that must be,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. He probably got hit by the hair dye from Arteta in the eye, and he's like kept it, as a souvenir. But no, I mean, guys, what were we doing at 15? This guy is on there. I think the only guy who can relate to him is probably Walcott in this country. Or maybe some Leeds players. James Milner started when he was 16, I think.
Cesc Fabregas was partly.
He was pretty young.
Yeah. So, look, we're having to rack the brains, and how far back are we going? Like, to be that young and to be part of the squad.
It's amazing.
It's a special day for him. But yeah, good to see Arsenal, second biggest fan. Good to see Arsenal, staying in there. Just giving me that hope that they're going to do it. Stop the flipping City and Liverpool. Stop them both. Come on.
Do you know what?
It is the kind of.
Go on, George. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say it's the kind of performance that will give you a bit more belief as well. Because even though you didn't play well, you got the 3 points, which is all that matters. At this stage of the season, let's face it, that is literally all that matters.
But the
and you
belief,
got the
the
3
belief
points.
you're talking about. But then there's 2 big games coming up: Chelsea
This week,
and Spurs.
honestly,
These next couple of days, are make or break for Arsenal.
Yeah, I've made a deal with myself. If we beat Chelsea, and I think that is a big if, because I think, like you say, George, Chelsea are good against the top side. If we beat Chelsea, I'm going to go to the pub for the Spurs game and go hell for leather. That's what I'm going to.
What happens if you don't beat us?
Oh, there's no fucking point, is there? I'll watch it at home and on my own. Do you know what? I find this with the North London derby, especially. It's worse watching it on your own at home. The anxiety levels are different, and it's like when you're in the ground, it's almost shared amongst everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've been
It's like an AA meeting.
To loads of North London derbies. I've probably been to 10, and when we've gone behind and we've got Eric Dyer shushing our stand, and if you're watching that on telly on your own,
Eric Dyer,
you just want to smash the place up. But if you're in the crowd of other Arsenal fans, it's like you're all grieving together. Do you know what I mean?
It's like
you've normally had a few beers, which helps as well. I bet.
Yeah. It's going to be a brutal week. But like, it's fine.
Are you going on Tuesday?
I'm not. No, I can't go tomorrow, which is quite gutting. I'll be going to I think the only other home games we've got I'll be going to is Bournemouth next Saturday, and then Everton last game of the season.
And Liverpool got a bye this week as well, ain't they? In midweek.
Yeah,
well, bye.
Yeah, they got Everton.
It's still a derby. It's still a derby.
Is it home or away against?
Oh god, it's still a derby. When's the last time Everton won a derby?
True.
I think Gary Lineker was playing.
Well, is that true? Is it?
I don't know. That's a quick Google search. Helen, you need to get a Google searcher. I'll do a quick one, but
sounds not far off.
No,
what's the chances of them doing us a favour? Really, it's nil, isn't it? It's not going to happen.
Well, if they get some decisions like they did against Forest.
Oh god, terrible!
Even the weekend, obviously, you guys have got Spurs. Liverpool have got West Ham away.
West Ham away is not an easy game.
No.
I mean, they got tonked by Palace, but
yeah.
But still, it's not an easy game. They're probably focusing. They're out of now as well. Yeah. So yeah. It's not the easiest game.
Yeah, there's a few tough away games for the big boys. I think City have got Brighton away on Thursday, and then I think they've got. It's not such a tough game.
They've got Nottingham Forest away.
And I was going to say Forest. We've lost at Forest before in recent years, but then I think City the week after the next round of fixtures they've got Fulham away and Spurs away. And do you know what? If they win all 4 of those away games, I tip my hat. They probably deserve. Well, they do deserve to win the league because how do you compete with that?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, because you're all so close, it's all gone so well. It's whoever holds their bottle. The team that holds their bottle wins the games they should. Is the one that's going to win the league. So they're fully.
The league never lies. The league never lies. Whoever wins it deserves it. And just to come back, I've done the quick Google search. Everton. It's saying on the 20th of Feb, 21 Everton won 2-0.
Is that in the league or cup?
First win at Anfield in any competition.
It was a friendly pre-season.
It's not.
It was a Masters. It was a Masters.
Sorry, that was the women's. No, 1982 actually for the seniors.
It says Everton have beaten Liverpool just once. That would be 21 since 2010.
Listen, even if they can grind out a draw, do you know
Draw.
what I mean? Like,
Draw would do it.
Anything, just. I mean, the Fulham game, I thought at 1-1. I mean, Trent scored that free kick, which was really good. As much as I dislike Trent, it just bugs me. But
great
at 1-1, Fulham away again. We lost there. They were good against us.
Yeah.
I thought.
How are you feeling about it, Killer? Do you think you've got a chance?
Nervous now. To be fair.
Nervous.
It's
squeaky bum time.
Every week it's just quite and the moment you drop points, I think that's it.
Yeah.
You've got to go in and win. A draw just isn't good enough anymore. Because, like I said, you've got City, and I want to say they've got easier games across the next.
Yours aren't too bad, are you?
Yeah,
who's your?
But going back to what I
toughest
said, Liverpool won't. They're not a confident team enough to go in and actually smash out the park and go, right, job done. You've still got to push the whole.
It's strange that Salah seems to have gone missing, right, for Liverpool. He's not quite
got a pay rise and thought, that's it, I'm done.
I mean, how many times does that happen, right? A player has an amazing season.
Rashford.
His contract's up for renewal, gets a bumper deal, and then they're rubbish.
Disappears, yeah. But Salah disappears. Salah disappears in like quite a few big games. Champions League final, he scored a penalty against Tottenham, but nothing against Real. And I think Salah's a bit guilty of going missing in certain big games, compared to like, hate to say it, but like in title run-ins, and Hazard, he'd be mustard every single week. He would just win us points that we should never win.
Thought you were going to say Cole Palmer there.
I mean,
as well, if we're in a title race, Cole Palmer.
I can't play, boss. I can't play. That's you. I can't play.
That's going to be a big miss, right? For Chelsea, Arsenal, if Cole Palmer doesn't play due to sickness. I think
he's playing. I've heard all that before. Pep does it every week.
I don't think that
Kevin De Bruyne, or Haaland, or whoever it is, Rodri, they haven't trained. They're touch and go. Unlikely.
But have you seen our injury and missed game record? Gusto's injured as well. Gusto, like people, I don't think people are fully rating Gusto yet, but he's so good, and he's out the game. So who are we going to play right back? Disaster. It's just going to be a disaster class from him. He's terrible at right back. Disaster.
My ears, George.
But I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all. If Palmer doesn't play, if Gusto doesn't play, Enzo's got a hernia. Who's going to play in midfield? It could be a really bodged together team.
You've got another £100 million guy there.
Yeah, he's probably injured as well.
He's shocking, by the way. I'm so glad we didn't.
He's not. He's not.
He's so bad.
He's not. He's not. If you watched our game, every single one of our games, you'll see that
and look guilty. That's what pretty much 90% of his game.
Like, I think he gets so much grief. He's not rated at all. But if you watch him week in, week out, you'll see that he's actually been up there with our best performers this season. He breaks at the play so much. He's also asked to do far too much as well, which is again one of the ways Poch sets up the team wrong, because he has to cover like the whole midfield by himself. Like he has to literally cover so much yardage that he's like no player could do that. Not even Kante could do that by himself.
But does that just prove, if he's one of your best players, why Chelsea are in the position they're in? I mean, he's your Anthony. If he's one of your best performers, that explains.
He is so much better than Anthony.
No, I mean, I think that's harsh, because even though I don't like Potato at Chelsea,
I'm just trying to justify 80 mil on Anthony.
one assist.
You'll never
get the winner. You'll get the winner in the cup final.
Well, I see him in the semi giving it like that to the full.
Embarrassing.
You know what? That was just blown out of proportion. That was. Yeah.
What's he doing?
On the pitch.
Oh, well done, mate. You've just beaten Coventry on penalties. Why are you running around giving it?
They're in the Championship.
He was being
him
respectful.
And Fernandes playing right, honestly.
You see, got it wrong. He's being respectful because they're the Sky Blues. They've got the elephant logo, so he was being respectful about the elephant logo. That's all it was.
To be fair, Harry Maguire was straight over there. He's still got a little bit of class about him. There's probably one of the other classy things about the club, but yeah.
He's got the movement of an old classic car, isn't he? Top speed, 35 miles. Yeah.
Right. Obviously, we were talking about Arsenal, Chelsea. Predictions. What do we? I'll probably go to a neutral first.
For Arsenal, Chelsea.
Quickly, what do we?
Yeah,
think?
Actually, neutral. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hang on. He's just going to whip that off and have his Arsenal top on.
Arsenal tattoo there, yeah.
I've got to go to, what is it, Stockley Park or whatever? I've got to go be on VAR in the background. Yeah. No, I think I think Palmer will probably play. Funny enough,
He will play.
I think he's right. Even if he doesn't start, he'll come on. God, I don't want to give it the Cully curse, right? But I think Arsenal have got enough because Chelsea are just shambles. The thing is, Chelsea can attack, but Arsenal can defend. And if Saliba's in top form, I think he can handle all of them. Like, you know, not on his own, but he's good enough to handle it. I think he'll be tight though. I don't think he'll be as free scoring as other games because I think Arsenal now at home, it depends on the fans as well. Like, will they start to, if it stays 0-0 or it's what, you know, or they're losing, will the fans get on top of them or will they back them? So now's the time.
Or will they be screaming Arteta out again?
Yeah, will they all just disappear like they did
will it disappear?
a couple of weeks ago?
So I think it'll be tight, maybe 2-1, something like that. 2-1 or 2-0. I mean, I'm getting two scores. I'll go 2-1. 2-1.
Pierce?
I think it's going to be a fucking horrible 1-0. We'll win, but it will be filth. It'll be a horrible match. It'll be really tight, really choppy, stop-start. But I think we'll sneak it 1-0.
And George?
I'd love to back my team, but if we don't have Gusto and Palmer, I can't see us getting a result there. So I think it'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if after the weekend we just roll over and it's like a pretty easy 2-0 sort of game.
First time.
No.
I'm just going to throw it in for the punters. Jackson to score.
Oh, the Jackson 5.
You'll probably get 100-1 on that. It's probably worth a fiver actually. Against us.
Jackson to score.
He gets a lot of grief.
In all honesty, he was in good positions, right? To be able to.
But that's the thing, right? He's getting there.
Just to finish.
He is so much better at leading the line than Havertz was for us. After watching 2 years of having Havertz at top, Jackson is literally like a dream. He runs around, he moves. Okay, his finishing definitely needs work and he's improving. But he's young, he's raw. It's his first full season as a striker. He played on the wing for half a year at Villarreal, which was his first proper season, and then he played 6 months up top for them. Then he's come to Chelsea, and I mean he's got 10 goals in the league, is it? And look, he's a young striker. I do think we could do with sort of an Ivan Toney there, or like somebody else a bit more experienced,
he's
a more complete striker.
Ivan Toney's a prick, so I think he would suit you boys down to the
But yeah, I think he gets a lot of grief, but I don't mind him.
Cool. On that note,
that's a joke, not liable.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Perfect.